JJ,
Dad.
welcome to Breakdown. SEC and Big Ten, we're going to break down some football, JJ. Today is Thursday, September 18th, 2025. You ready to do it?
I was born ready.
Born ready. That's my man. That's my man. All right. JJ, SEC, Big Ten. Let's talk about the Big Ten, man.
Yeah, let's talk about the Big Ten.
Let's talk about last week's game. And then we're going to do this week's game. But last week's game, JJ, the only real significant game in the Big Ten to me last week was New Mexico at UCLA.
Yeah, that was definitely the most significant game.
It was a 10 to 35 win by New Mexico over UCLA.
Just like everybody expected.
And Nico.
And DeShaun Foster.
Yes. JJ, what happened?
Well, DeShaun Foster is no longer coaching UCLA.
Got fired.
He got fired. I have to think that Nico is rethinking the decisions that he and his father made to move out west. Especially you saw how close Tennessee came to breaking that streak of losses to Georgia.
Indeed.
And the way that their quarterback has been playing, I bet he wishes he had that protection that he has. But yeah, UCLA just they're a dumpster fire right now. DeShaun Foster, they couldn't wait till October. If they had waited till October, his buyout would have dropped by $3 million, and his buyout is very cheap right now. It's like $5 million. I mean, I think UCLA hired him because they knew whoever was going to succeed, Chip Kelly, was going to get fired, regardless. And I think that they knew there was going to be a mass exodus. I think they didn't have the funds. I think they knew that coming into the Big Ten that they weren't in the best position. So I think that they just knew that they could justify giving one of their proudest alums a title, a position, millions of dollars, and then they also justify firing him because he had never been a coordinator before. So he was a positions coach. He was a specialist. He had never even been a generalist. You go from being a generalist to a manager. So I think UCLA kind of just knew.
It was a big move. They won 5 games last year. They were 5-7. This year they've gone 0-3 and looked really, really, really bad. New Mexico just manhandled them. But JJ, the underlying story in that is the Nico Amalava. Yeah, I can't pronounce his name. That's an underlying.
That's how you might as well pronounce it, because he's gonna leave you. You know that.
For him and his brother, he was at Tennessee getting what $2 million this year or something like that, $2.5 million.
Yeah, when he signed it was the most lucrative deal any QB, any player had ever signed in the NIL era.
And he wanted more money, so he went to California to UCLA and got less money.
Yeah.
And now he's losing his coach.
He got his bluff called.
Yeah, and his brother too. I mean, the worst possible things that could have happened to them, well, not the worst, but one of the worst things that could have happened to them is what went down, going to UCLA and performing so poorly and the coach getting fired. And it's just a mess. But JJ, that's the Big Ten for last week. Let's talk about the Big Ten this week.
Yeah, let's pivot to greener pastures. Let's talk about some more interesting matchups than the majority of last week. I did go to one Big Ten game. I was in Ann Arbor for the Central Michigan game, and
that reminds me, why you don't have on your Central Michigan jersey, since you are an alum.
I am a Central Michigan Chippewa, that's for sure. But I said if they have to come within 55 points for me to wear a jersey, and they were just 60 points away from tying it up.
How many? 60?
Just 60.
60 points away, man. JJ, well let's talk about
9 touchdowns. Or...
You know what? We're gonna stick with Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan has to go to Nebraska this week. 2 young quarterbacks facing off each other. Who's the better quarterback? One has only played 3 games.
Yeah, you have Dylan Raiola for Nebraska. He was the most heralded recruit in his class his freshman year last year.
Last year, yeah. And this year's most heralded recruit
is Bryce Underwood.
Playing for Michigan.
Playing for Michigan. I think you like what you see from Bryce Underwood in every aspect. I think in every category I would give the advantage to Bryce Underwood in Michigan, but except for 2 very, very important categories. And I think that is who he'll be throwing the ball to, and just the amount of experience that Dylan Raiola has. He has a lot of autonomy before pre-snap, He has the ability to audible out of plays. He's seen a lot more at this point in time. He's been through the rigors of a Big Ten season. This is, Bryce Underwood's first Big Ten game. He has, big game experience going to Norman, Oklahoma.
Exactly.
But, this is a conference game. Nebraska's a different animal as well. And I just think Dylan Raiola has more experience. I think that, he's throwing to Dane Key and the other transfer receiver that's been, really good for them. I think that they have a better personnel.
You think who have the better personnel?
Receiving core. I'm talking about Nebraska.
Okay.
I think they have a better receiving core personnel. So I would expect that Dylan Raiola will have better numbers than Bryce Underwood.
Okay.
What say you?
Michigan has better personnel, I think, all around. I think
that's true.
I think the
outside of receiver, obviously.
Bryce Underwood he's dealt with a crowd on the road before, but I still give the edge to Nebraska.
Home dogs.
Yes, because they're a home team, and I think this is going to be a very competitive game. Very, very competitive.
Sherrone Moore will not be on the sidelines for Michigan.
That's true. He had to miss the previous game and this game. So I don't know. I'm going with the more seasoned quarterback, but not that he's the better quarterback. But I just think Nebraska need this game more, and I think they're going to be more focused.
I think they need this more. I think this game is a lot more symbolic for Nebraska than it is for Michigan. In a lot of ways, I think for one, Nebraska used to be on the same tier as Michigan, on the same tier as Oklahoma, and Michigan decided to suspend Sherrone Moore for a conference game. You could have suspended him for the Oklahoma, a non-conference game, and for Central Michigan.
That's right.
But they went for a conference game, and I think that's gotta hurt the pride of a lot of Nebraska fans, because Nebraska used to be on that tier. I have some friends that are Nebraska fans. They still call Michigan the 1997 national champion runner-ups.
I agree.
They call them. Well, yeah, of course he's going to agree with them. But they call them that, and that's indicative of the last time that they were relevant. Their last peak was 97. Michigan has won a champion since then, and Nebraska's downfall has been much talked about, and I think their rise from the ashes like a phoenix is something that they're desperate for.
What would this mean for Nebraska if they win?
It would mean a lot for them.
It would mean more for them than a win for Michigan.
Well, Michigan won 2 championships. They won a championship 2 years ago, and they've beaten their arch rival 4 years in a row. This game absolutely means way more for Nebraska. I mean, Nebraska has not beaten a ranked team in a decade.
Wow, I didn't realize that. But if Nebraska win, and I think they will win, they're gonna have a better feel for themselves. They're going to have a little bit more confidence. They need this desperately. And when two teams are about equal, and I think one is more desperate than the other, I'm going to go with the more desperate team.
Yeah, and if those two teams were equal, I would agree with you, but I think Michigan's just way better. So I think Michigan's going to win.
Okay. I think Michigan has better personnel, slight better personnel. But they'll play the game, JJ.
That's why we play the games.
Let's talk about some more Big Ten games.
Let's go
to Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. You don't want to go to Illinois. Okay, let's go to Los Angeles.
Let's go to Los Angeles because there's a Spartan team going to go out there and play a game 11 o'clock at nighttime for their Michigan State Spartan fans.
Yeah, perfect timing. That's a conference game.
It is. Let me ask you a question, JJ.
Yeah.
Would the Big Ten scheduling committee, if there is such a thing, would they ever have Michigan playing an 11 o'clock night game? Or would they ever have Ohio State playing an 11 o'clock night game?
No, the athletic directors would be on the phone immediately, threatening to go independent, like Notre Dame or something.
So how did Michigan State get stuck with an 11 o'clock game?
They have a very abundant alumni base.
Okay, JJ.
They have a very rabid fan base. They tune in to games like this, so they're gonna get that.
Let's talk about the game. Both teams are undefeated. USC has been scoring like walking through a paper wall. No one has been able to stop them. They're averaging 55 points per game, JJ.
Yeah, they have been.
Michigan State ain't been no slouch.
No.
They're undefeated. So is USC. Both high-powered offenses. Both got really good quarterbacks. Who has the better quarterback?
That's a good question. I think Aiden Childs, he's been limited in turnovers. He
Yes.
has, he's been making better decisions. He's still been holding on the ball for a little bit too long. He's still been taking sacks that I feel like he shouldn't have to take. And some sacks, can be on the offensive line. Some sacks can be on the quarterback. Watching Aiden Childs, I feel like a lot of them are on the quarterback. So he needs to, be a little bit faster in his processing. He has a great receiver, Nick Marsh. But sometimes it feels like he wants to lock in on him and wait for him to break out of his route. So, that's who MSU has. And then on the other side, you have Jaden Maeva for USC, the transfer from UNLV in his redshirt junior year. He's been lighting it up. He's been on fire. Running the ball, throwing the ball. He's been looking really dynamic for Lincoln Riley. And Lincoln Riley is the quarterback whisperer. He all he does is get quarterbacks sent to New York during his Heisman time. That's all he does. So USC. I mean, USC's offense has been looking good, but honestly, I think the investment and the money that they put into their defense has really shown as well.
USC is favored. I can't remember, but it is like the upper teens, like 17, 18, 19 point favorite. You buying, you giving, or you taking those points?
That's a lot of points for a team that didn't even get ranked until last week and didn't even get entered. I mean, they're still in the 20s. That's a lot of points. They're at home. It is quite the time travel. It's such a weird situation for that game to be happening at 11 o'clock MSU time. I have to think that's an advantage for USC, but to the degree, I don't know. It's got to be better than if USC was coming and playing a noon game at Michigan State, I think. But I don't know.
I'll just say this. I think that travel is horrible. I'm going to take the home team easily, and I'm giving those. I hate to say it. I'm giving those high digit.
I'm gonna stay away. That's a lot of points. I can't take that many points in a week 3 conference game.
Well, I say that because who has the better offense, Boston College or USC? And Boston College just moved the ball on Michigan State way too easily, in my mind.
That's true. USC has a better offense, I think. I think they have better personnel.
Yeah. And it's going to be the home. It's going to be travel. It's going to be late. I don't see anything in Michigan State's favor in this game.
I don't think that USC is going to be able to stop Michigan State either. I think Michigan State is going to be the most dynamic offense that USC has really had to play against as well.
Okay. So it's
it's
going to be a shootout. Take the over, you tell him.
I would do that before I would take the points.
Okay.
Or give the points.
Well, let's move on to the big game in the Big Ten this weekend.
Yeah, the
Illinois going to Indiana.
We talking basketball? You said big game in the Big Ten. You talking Illinois, Indiana? That must be basketball because it can't be football.
Indiana is a favorite in this game. They're at home.
They're the 19th team. 19th ranked team. Illinois is ranked in the top 10.
I know.
And Indiana's the favorite.
You got. I can't pronounce the coach name from Indiana.
Kurt Signetti.
Yeah. And you got
Brett Bielema from
in Illinois, Brett Bielema.
Brett.
Okay.
Sorry.
When he was at Arkansas all them years, I was calling him Brent. I should have been calling him Brett.
Yeah.
I don't care. It don't matter.
All right.
It don't matter. But no, who's the better coach, JJ?
Maybe it is Brent. Now I'm crazy.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Who's the better coach?
Bielema. I think Bielema is the better coach. He's proven it more at a consistent level. Like Wisconsin before Bielema. Look at Wisconsin after Bielema.
Look at Bielema at Arkansas.
I think you look at it. That's more of a aberration now.
Okay. Well, look at Indiana's coach right now.
I mean, Signetti. He's done it 1 year at the major level. Was it a fluke?
What are they averaging right now, JJ? They are averaging 52 points per game.
Yeah, who have they played?
They played FCS teams that have scholarship players on their roster.
Yeah, that's about right. Old Dominion, Indiana State.
They just killed Indiana State. That's a rival, both in the same state.
That's true.
Yeah. So I will say both got really good quarterbacks. I like both of them quarterbacks. But after that, JJ, I'm just not sold on Indiana. I'm not sold on Indiana.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of Bielema.
So what do you do?
That's a good question. You go with Bielema
Yeah,
on the road.
I think he is. I think he is the better coach. But I do think that both of these coaches are very good. I do think Illinois has better personnel at this point in time. I think Indiana might be up for this game though.
They're gonna be at home, and last year the fan base for home games at Indiana, they were very rowdy.
I watched that Duke game that Illinois
That was at Duke.
had those 5 turnovers. I don't think Illinois is gonna win the turnover battle against Indiana.
I don't either.
And without winning the turnover battle, I don't think that they're gonna beat Indiana. So I'm gonna take Indiana to win.
Okay, cool. Well, JJ, enough with the Big Ten.
What do we want to do and go down south?
Let's go down south. Let's look at some last week's game, JJ. The one game I want to look at in particular that I probably don't want to really look at, Arkansas traveled to Ole Miss last week.
Arkansas went to Ole Miss. Yeah, that game.
35-41.
Yeah. It was another entertaining game, but it also, just like too many other games featuring Arkansas Ole Miss, it didn't end in Arkansas's favor.
No, neither team wanted to play defense.
No, that's for sure. You can throw on either team. You can run on either team. You can do whatever you want.
JJ, a few years ago, Dan Enos was the offensive coordinator at Arkansas.
Let's not relive those dark days.
Well, I'm just going to mention this. They played...
Former Central Michigan head coach.
Yeah.
Dan Enos.
They played Mississippi State in Fayetteville, and the final score was 3-0, 7-0, something like that. It was a low-scoring game. Arkansas didn't score, and the next day, offensive coordinator Dan Enos got fired.
Yeah.
How many more opportunities did T. Will, the defensive coordinator at Arkansas, how many more opportunities will he have before his job become jeopardy? After looking at last week's game, is his job in jeopardy?
That's a good question. I mean, I think a lot of that, you have to look at the All-22, which I have not done. You have to see how frequently everybody was out of position. You have to see how frequently he, diversified his calls. But, the personnel, I think, is the personnel. I don't think there's going to be too many things that can be done, but
they were out of position a lot.
Yeah.
But they kind of fixed things in the second half. They gave up 31 points in the first half and 10 points in the second half. And they had a great chance to win that game, except for the fumble at the 24-yard line.
Yeah.
But I just question T. Will, Travis Williams, the defensive coordinator, how many opportunities he's going to get. If their defense can play like that in another game, we might be looking at a new defensive coordinator for the Razorbacks. So T. Will, get it fixed, and I know you will. JJ, another game from last week.
Okay.
Florida and LSU. LSU had 5 interceptions. They won that game. Tell me about Florida, JJ.
Yeah, DJ Lagway. People said he looked like DJ Ungalele.
I had not heard that.
I think I heard someone say call him DJ Lagalele. Yeah, he looked terrible. That's the worst I've ever seen him play. That's the worst I've seen any quarterback play. 5 interceptions. That's a Jake Delhomme. You don't see people do that very often. He just wasn't seeing the field at all. Honestly, he should have been pulled. Billy Napier. I think a lot of the reason he came back was because he was bringing Lagway back and a lot of other guys. But they look bad. They didn't quit though. They should have won if not for all those turnovers.
5 interceptions is bad. We mentioned T. Will, the defensive coordinator in Arkansas, being in trouble. What about Billy Napier?
I mean, his seat couldn't be hotter.
At Florida.
Yeah, he's in a pretty unfavorable position when it comes to millionaire coaches.
Florida is 1-3 right now.
They are 1-3.
And this week they play in Miami.
It doesn't let up from there.
Okay. JJ.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read you something that Brian Kelly said.
Yeah. What did Brian Kelly say? Noted wordsmith.
This is regarding the Florida LSU game. Well, LSU won 20-10.
Mm-hmm.
This is, and I quote, LSU won the football game. Won the game. I don't know what you want from me. What do you want? Do you want us to win 70-0 against Florida and keep you happy? Those are ridiculous questions, and I am getting tired of it. that football team just worked their tails off to get an SEC win, and you want to know what's wrong. That's Brian Kelly, quote. JJ,
Yeah.
what's wrong with LSU, man? They've scored, LSU, they've scored, let me see, 17, 23, and 10 points in 3 games. What's wrong?
They're not running the ball.
And they got quarterback supposed to be a Heisman Trophy contender.
Yeah, and he's been playing pretty well. You know, they haven't been playing great on offense. Honestly, their defense has been carrying them, and you know, that is very much a Brian Kelly way to go about articulating himself. Ever the couth and the gentleman with such decorum and grace. Yeah, that's Brian Kelly there. You know, they've struggled, but you know, you're not gonna win every game pretty. Alabama won the championship. I remember the year they beat LSU. Or they lost to LSU 9-6.
Something like that. No touchdown was scored in that game.
And then they ended up winning the championship. You don't have to beat for other LSU teams. You don't have to beat the Joe Burrow LSU teams. You don't have to beat, Cam Newton's Auburn team. You have to beat the teams on your schedule. That's all you have to do. And as long as LSU is better than those teams, there's nothing wrong with them.
Okay.
It might not be pretty, but as long as it results in wins, it is what it is.
Well, let's talk about 2 more games from last week in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia and Tennessee. Give me a reason why Tennessee lost that game. And did the best team win?
Yeah, I mean, so field goals didn't help. Gunnar Stockton, I think, it might be better for Georgia if Georgia isn't going to have, the best receiving core. I think, his just ability to run the ball might be better for what Georgia can do.
Better than Beck was last year.
Yeah. Okay. Beck is more mobile, more traditional pocket passer. And he has a better offensive line and better receiving core at Miami than he did at Georgia. But Gunnar Stockton can kind of neutralize some of those deficiencies with his ability to move the pocket and make plays on the run. So, Georgia did what they did and they beat Tennessee. It's what they've been doing for,
in overtime.
Yeah. Tennessee went up, big early.
Tennessee missed the field goal near the end of the game that could have.
That is just very Tennessee way to.
So I'm just saying, I'm not convinced that the better team won.
I'm not either, but you know what? It was at Tennessee.
That's true. And Georgia put up more points than Tennessee.
They took their best punch. Joey Aguilar was 15 for 15 at one point.
I don't know.
He was on fire. He was ridiculous, looking much better than Nico. Man. Anyway,
I don't know. I think 2 good teams. We'll see how the remainder of the year
those
holds
two
up.
teams might meet again.
They might. They might
meet again in the playoff.
One last game from last week, JJ.
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M and Notre Dame.
Still ranked Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is 0-2 and still ranked in the top 25.
They won as many games as I have this year.
They're ranked. JJ, did the better team win that game? There was another home team loss.
Yeah, that was interesting. So there was a conspicuous hold that went uncalled.
By Texas A&M.
And by hold, I mean a tackle. It was unbelievable. It was the most egregious thing I've seen. I imagine that referee that was assigned that offensive line is not going to be given any playoff responsibilities this year. But
I did see a more egregious missed call by the official in a different game. Arkansas missed Ole Miss.
I'm sure you weren't biased at all.
Not at all. But no. Let's get back to Notre Dame.
But Notre Dame,
Texas A&M.
Notre Dame, Texas A&M, it was a fun, dynamic game. Marcel Reed threw for over 350 yards passing to a couple of transfer wide receivers. Casey Concepcion from NC State and Carver from Mississippi State. I believe that's where he's from. They're undersized, fast, speedy guys, and they were killing Notre Dame. I mean, Marcel Reed threw for under 50% completion percentage, but when he completed, he threw for over 20 yards of completion. So, he was going down the field.
The game, though, JJ, never would have gone into overtime had an extra point been made by Notre Dame late in the fourth quarter. The
game went into overtime?
Yes.
Oh.
Didn't it go into overtime?
I guess. Maybe I just about that.
It was a perfect snap. The holder fumbled the snap.
Former quarterback, starter Tyler Beckner, and then left the team to play lacrosse. They came back to be the backup quarterback.
And they missed that, and it left the door open for Texas A&M.
Yeah, that changed the dynamics, and I just knew at that moment in time that Texas A&M was going to win by 1 point, and then they did. I'm pretty sure they did win it in regulation. Because that mixed extra point wouldn't have mattered just to happen in regulation. That mixed extra point would have only mattered if it had happened in overtime. But
JJ, you are correct.
Yeah, it was a barn burner. I watched that game. I watched every second of that game. It was a really good game.
41-40.
I thought
why I was thinking overtime.
I thought Lloyd Carr's grandson played pretty well at quarterback for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I thought he played pretty well. But they just struggled to run the ball. Jeremiah Love. I don't know. Like the offensive line, they lost a couple of guys. I don't know. They just haven't ran the ball like I thought they were going to.
Does Notre Dame still have hope for a college football playoff?
I mean, they're ranked in the 20s. I guess so. I thought they were done, but I guess you can't kill them.
Well, they've lost to two ranked teams, and their schedule will get a lot easier, except a week from this coming Saturday.
Their margin for error has gotten a lot slimmer. They have to win out at this point. I don't think. If Miami makes it to the college football playoff and Texas A&M makes it to the college football playoff, you could justify Notre Dame losing 2 games to them and putting them in.
And if Arkansas make it, you can justify them using 3 games.
But yeah, they got to win the Arkansas game. They have to win the USC game. They have to win. They have to win out. I feel like.
Well, then they don't have any chance. Then
they have a chance. They don't have. I don't think they will. I would not bet money that Notre Dame will be in that conference.
Before we get out of here, let's talk about some games coming up this week in the SEC.
Let's talk about this week in the SEC.
Arkansas and Memphis.
Memphis
undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis just been on a roll. They lost 2 games last year, 2 games the year before, and they're undefeated right now. Does Arkansas have a shot against them? Arkansas is, I can't remember. They're a 7.5 point favorite right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been 12, 13 years since the last time some ranked team walked into, an SEC team walked into, a power conference team walked into Memphis's home field and beat them.
Okay.
It's been 12, 13 years. So, the history is working against Arkansas. However, Arkansas is the big favorite. They started when the line opened, Arkansas opened as a 5.5 point favorite. It immediately got back up to 7.5, and that's where it stayed. I think it stayed that way for a reason. A lot of people think that Taylor Green is the best quarterback and best player in the SEC.
What say you about Taylor Green?
It's incredibly early. It's hard to say. John Mateer, I think, is still, the Heisman Trophy favorite. What's his name out of Alabama looked a lot better. Ty Simpson, he looked a lot better.
Crazy better.
Against Wisconsin.
Crazy better.
So, and Kalen DeBoer is known for getting the most out of his quarterback. So I think, just giving him a little bit of time, I'm not surprised to see those type of results. What's his name? The quarterback, Bo Pribula out in Missouri. People in Penn State are wondering if they got rid of the wrong quarterback. The way he's been playing outstanding. So I think, then you have Lenore Sellers, who's injured and
hasn't been doing his thing.
Has not been playing well. DJ Lagway hasn't been playing up to expectations. Garrett Nussmeier has been pretty good, not great. I think Taylor Green could be the best quarterback in the SEC, but I think it's it's way too early to say. I think we need to play more than one SEC game.
There's a couple more games in the SEC.
Honestly, it might be the transfer from Ferris State.
He
might be the best.
That's what I forgot to ask you. And I'm going to ask you now before we go back into those. Who's the player of the week in the SEC and the Big Ten combined?
It have to be Trinidad Chambliss.
That's what I would say too.
Have to be
quarterback at Ole Miss, the
champion
quarterback.
Well, is he going to stay back up?
Lane Kiffin announced, was it today or yesterday, that he expect Chambliss not to be the starter. Who was I can't even think of the guy.
Austin Simmons.
Yeah, Austin Simmons to start.
Oh, if he's healthy,
that would Lane Kiffin said.
You put a lot of money and investment into Austin Simmons, so I'm not surprised.
Let's talk about Florida and Miami.
Miami.
Yeah, and we touched about when we touched on Florida when we talked about the LSU game before. But does Florida have a shot to beat Miami?
Of course, they have a shot. They should beat LSU.
Well, they lost to USF by 2 points
Mm-hmm.
on a penalty, basically.
And Miami destroyed USF, but you can't use a transitive property. That's not how football works.
That's true.
It's a rivalry game. I think Miami will win. I think Miami has the better personnel, but I definitely think Florida has a shot. I think they have a real opportunity to do something. And
If Florida lose, if they just say if they get blown out, does their coach make it through the end of the year?
probably not. I mean, but even if they win, he probably doesn't make it through the end of the year. I don't think.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, let's go to another one, JJ, really quickly. South Carolina and Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina, we talked about Lenore Seller a little bit. We don't know if he's going to be playing, but you and I talked before we started talking on this video. Is Missouri one of the better teams in the SEC?
It looks that way. I mean, Bo Probula, looks like he might be an upgrade at quarterback. They lost, what's his name?
Horn? Was it Horn? The quarterback.
I can't remember the quarterback, but they lost Luther Burton III, that receiver. He went to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
But yeah, even with losing him, it looks like their offense might have taken a couple of steps forward with Bo Pribula under center. So Missouri, they have the schedule to do it. They have the coach to do it. I think that they can make some noise this year.
They have a super easy schedule in my mind. Last game we're going to talk about, JJ, before we get out of here. Auburn at Oklahoma.
Auburn, Oklahoma. Some familiar faces and familiar places.
2 undefeated teams. Opening conference play. Who's the quarterback at Auburn?
Quarterback at Auburn, man, that's a good question. We know it's not Peyton Thorne this year. Who is it this year?
Mr. Arnold.
Arnold.
Used to be at Oklahoma last year. Jackson Arnold. He's been playing pretty well at Oklahoma. He's going to want to...
Auburn?
I'm sorry, at Auburn. He's going to want to show the fans in Oklahoma that they didn't give him enough love.
Yeah, he definitely didn't have any protection at Oklahoma. He was running around like a chicken with his head off. He has that at Auburn.
Oklahoma is favored in this game. Who you got?
I mean, I got Auburn covering the spread for sure. Oklahoma should win the game, I think, being home. But I think Auburn will go cover the spread. What you got?
Man. I think Auburn will win outright.
Okay. That's even bolder.
I do.
Okay.
I do. I'm not convinced that Oklahoma, with the Illinois State, Michigan, and Temple, they traveled to Temple. That I don't understand. The Michigan win, JJ, Michigan still got to show me. They got to show me. So I'm not counting that as a big win against Michigan as of right now. But we'll see. We'll see. I think Auburn is much improved from last year. And I think Oklahoma is just barely improved from last year.
Well, we will see. That's
everybody talk about their defense, Oklahoma's defense.
Brent Venables is known for it.
We'll see. We'll see. But
the thing about that is they have intel on Jackson Arnold that you couldn't even think of how, because every quarterback nowadays gets an iPad, a tablet, which records how much time you're documenting reading. So they know exactly how much time he studied, but they also know exactly where his issues were. They have software that breaks down his film in practice. They've seen him take so many different snaps. They know exactly where he struggles. They know exactly which pressure points to push.
So
I think Brent Venables
does he know their defense? Does he know their defensive personnel? Their weakness, their strength?
I don't think he knows it the way that Brent Venables knows his weaknesses and strengths. That's why I think Oklahoma wins. But I do think Auburn to cover the game, to cover the spread.
Well, JJ, we're about to run out of time. I'm going to say WPS Woo Pig. Suey, you lost your quarterback, man.
NFL season's over, so, it's just all college football now. Woo Pig Suey.
Don't give up on Cincinnati, JJ. Don't give up on Cincinnati. But we're out of here. Next time.